end date.
where they want to.
By the way, people do better.
Talk about these 4 pillars.
Ransom Shield launch.
Consider going.
Happy Monday, Ty.
Happy Monday, Shar.
Man, we are back at it. And again, as usual, guys, we are really focusing on this 2025 Q4, making it the best ever so that you're ready to go in 2026. And Ty, you and I do this religiously every single week to make sure that we're delivering value and that we're serving our community.
100%. The reality is that a lot of times we get stuck in the business. I did a session last Thursday where people were saying, oh, this is so great. And it wasn't anything groundbreaking. All we did was answer questions to see how people were reflected on their 2025, what they had in mind for the 2026. And then we build a waterfall chart from, how do you go from 5 years to 3 quarterly milestones? And what we learned in the process was that people get stuck and mired on working in the business. So they completely forget until it's like in front of them that they have to actually sit down and be intentional and plan on the business. And so we've been preaching this for a few weeks now. It's time to finish 2025 strong and enter 2026 with momentum so we can achieve that scale. We can't say next year it was a bad year. We need to plan for contingencies, plan for what we know, repeat the things that didn't work and so repeat the things that did work and then drop the things that didn't work and really go into the year knowing and believing that we're going to make the profit that we want to make.
Wow. And guys, here's the thing. No matter how much your goal is focused on, what you want to make, you have to have the operation piece in place. You got to have the fundamental piece, which is the baseline of all success is how are you going to get there? What do you need to continue to do? What do you need to stop doing? And what do you need to press the gas on? And that's the reason why today, LinkedIn, true case studies that we'll be sharing today have helped literally not only CoachCon as we launched it, not only as our capital partnership has launched, but more importantly, we've seen the results literally not only in our own businesses, but more importantly in our clients' businesses.
A lot of coaches tend to say, their platform is Facebook, and it's been a great platform.
Yes.
Facebook has delivered a number of communities, it's delivered a number of transformations, and it's a fantastic platform. But the reality is everybody in coaching says, well, how do I raise my prices? Or how do I level up my clientele? And those people, and the answer to that is really on LinkedIn, because even though Facebook is a great platform for coaches in the coaching industry to find clients, the really serious-minded people, the leaders, the people who are doing big things, the aspirational folks, they have a profile on LinkedIn because it feeds what they're trying to do, what their mission is, what their purpose is, what their company is, what their corporate career is. All of that's happening on LinkedIn. So to be present on LinkedIn is to start building your brand and your reputation, your credibility in the place where your audience lives.
Exactly. And guys, there's a lead funnel strategy to every single platform, but LinkedIn specifically is a completely different algorithm. This past week, I was in Arizona, and one of the gals who raised her hand said, Charlene, we spend $200,000 on ads. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's $2.4 million a year. And she goes, yes. I said, and what's the return? She goes, well, I need 700 leads every single month. And I thought, well, I think you're going to be much, much more valuable in regards to your lead gen if you had better qualified opportunities where you can decrease that number, decrease the spend, and then it increased the opportunity. And she just was like, I never thought of it that way. And that's the reason why today, guys, we're focusing on a couple of case studies that help you go global, not only as a coach, but as a professional, your credibility, your expert positioning. And Ty, have seen it firsthand work for us at CoachCon because it's been so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, CoachCon itself, like we did a 2-tier strategy for CoachCon. We went through and DM'd people on Facebook and messaged everyone and say, hey, come join us at CoachCon. And we went and did the same thing in LinkedIn. Now we also had a group in CoachCon on Facebook. We had a group in LinkedIn, and I can tell you, the group thing did not work on LinkedIn, right? People didn't really join. There was very little uptake. We added more people to our YouTube channel than we did our LinkedIn group in that strategy. But the Facebook group worked well. We filled that thing up. However, more people who responded in LinkedIn showed up to the conference than people who on Facebook. So even though we got a bigger response on Facebook, we got maybe 40% of people from the LinkedIn responses that showed up and 20% from Facebook who responded that showed up. And again, the market is saturated. Facebook's been around for a while. It's been known to be the platform for these types of things. So I have to assume that people are getting my invitation and many other invitations and just so much stuff that they're getting lost on Facebook. Whereas LinkedIn, there are people using LinkedIn as a strategy to go out and say, hey, buy my product or check out my service, but it's much less than what you're getting on Facebook. And it's still, you can still target a lot more on LinkedIn. And so you're getting better quality of the leads you're going after than you are in Facebook. But it does require a little bit of work. And I think I don't think we're in the early stages of it, but I do think we are not yet matured on the platform. There's still opportunity to go in and actually build a strategy that works.
And some of you guys are still working your full-time 9 to 5. Some of you are still in a role that specifically focuses maybe 40, 50% of your day. And so when you're trying to build as a coach, we're using these strategies that have been proven to help you get to that next step, because some of you have all of the accolades maybe in the career or the industry you're in. And so you're adding coach as kind of a secondary revenue strategy. And so Ty and I are trying to help you navigate through that these strategies that we coach you on literally get you from where you are, even though you're pushing maybe a current product, that you might be able to position you even faster with using LinkedIn.
Yes. And LinkedIn isn't your only strategy, right? So don't think that we're saying, okay, only do LinkedIn and you're going to suddenly have 6 figures in revenue. Right? LinkedIn is a strategy, a really good strategy that if you start building now and adding to your portfolio can get you there a lot faster than if you relied on just a Facebook or just organic and so on. So it's a complementary strategy. It's an opportunity for you to tap into. LinkedIn also has tools. One of the tools I used this weekend was Sales Navigator. And I'll give you a quick case study. In one of my other businesses, we do finance. And one of the things that we're not getting a lot of is traction. When you go to a company's website, you have to put in that website what you're seeking for, funding for, and it goes to a generic info inbox. But LinkedIn has done an amazing job of, again, building out that serious-minded corporate professional. So now we can take the company and go into LinkedIn and identify the company in LinkedIn and then identify actual individuals. We can either message on LinkedIn or in Sales Navigator, message them via InMail or email and really get into that company, get more direct access to that company than sending it to an info email. So again, better quality, better traction, a lot more opportunities for responses because you're connecting with somebody directly who is active on the platform. That's why it needs to be part of your overall strategy.
And guys, when you're coaching, a lot of times the decision maker, there's not a gatekeeper between that. You need to go straight to the gatekeeper that is probably blocking maybe one touch, but usually you go straight to the customer. Because coaching is more intimate, it's not necessarily where if you're doing a product or service, and Ty, you've seen this time and time again, there's 5 or 6 decision keystone people in between to get to that person, where when you're coaching someone intimately, there might be like an admin to that person or the person themselves. And so you need to show up as an expert authority. You need to have credibility because they're going to check you on LinkedIn. Everyone I've ever talked to, Ty, has always said, they saw me on LinkedIn. And I'm like, yes, that's the new calling card. That's the new website. That's the new platform for trust and building relationships.
So that you can't underscore that enough, Shar. Here's the thing. We started talking about lead generation using LinkedIn. That is only one of the functions of LinkedIn. You have to understand, people will find you. People will look you up. They'll see you spoke at an event, or your business card was shared by somebody else, or you're in a photo for some, and they will go to LinkedIn. I do it. You go to LinkedIn to see who's this person, what are they about, and what you have on your LinkedIn profile. That's what's going to give people the impetus to either reach out to you or to stop and watch, or to completely dismiss you overall. Look at Charlene's profile. Look at my profile. You'll see content. You'll see built out professional experiences. You'll see recommendations. I think I've got like 34, 35 recommendations. And recommendations are your testimonials. They're your Google reviews. They are all of the things people go through your profile to see exactly who you are and how valuable and credible are you in moving forward. So it's not just about you using LinkedIn to go reach out, having a blank profile and then reaching out to people, say, hey, would you like to buy my product? Or, hey, I have a free ticket or an offer for you. It's about you having a fully developed and built profile that showcases what you wanted to showcase, your credibility, your authority, your ingenuity. And then you're using that profile as you reach out to people and give them an invitation to participate in whatever you're participating in.
Well, and guys, this is where many of you will benefit from your network helping you launch your business as a coach, as a reputation strategy, those reviews, the network you have, the connections you have. And I always clean it up every single week. I have a time dedicated on my calendar that says I will spend 15 minutes just cleaning up my profile with people that maybe not have the right connections. Maybe those people are not the right relationships I should have. Maybe some of my relationships have outgrown where we are in the business cycle that we're in. And so you have to remember, in order to go global, you have to schedule the time. You have to schedule the steps that you need to follow. And more importantly, Ty, I've seen this time and time again. A lot of people go, well, don't they already know I do that? And I'm like, no, your job is to tell people what you do and what problem you solve.
Your job is to tell people what you do and what problem you solve over and over and over and over again. When we come from a place of, well, they should already know, or it's everywhere, or it's obvious, what you fail to realize is that everyone is being bombarded on multiple platforms in multiple places at multiple times in the day, right? We used to have, used to say 7 times to get through a response. I think it's now up to like 12 or 13, because the reality is like, constantly, we've been on this call for the past 11 minutes and I've gotten 4 messages in 11 minutes, just people pinging me for different things on different platforms. And so you have to assume that everybody's constantly being bombarded and barraged by different messages, different people doing different strategies. And so how do you stand out? Well, one, you have to be repetitive. You have to make sure that you're hitting them over and over again, and don't assume that they should know. Nobody should know anything, right? They should know what's going on in their world, not what's going on in your world. So it's your job to not only make sure that you have repetition, but that your repetition is standing out, that you're not being putting the generic stuff, I was this, and this. No, you have to put something impactful to give people a reason to stop and listen.
Wow. Again, Ty, every single week, guys, we're coming to you with real tangible solutions to the problems that you're facing, whether you're starting, whether you're growing, or you're scaling, or some of you who are mature as a coach, you're just looking for that competitive edge, because guess what? The business of coaching has literally exploded over the last 5 years since COVID, since the world became what I consider hyper aware that we needed more connection, we needed more people touches. So again, the strategies that we use every single week to help you coach your business up is to help you really get better at what you're doing about working on your business as a coach.
100%.
Thanks, everybody. When you want to reach out to us, Ty, let them know where they can go, where to sign up, because January 2026, guys, is we have our next CoachCon.
Yeah, January 20th, 2026. That is the next CoachCon. It's coachcon.global. The page is up. It's ready for you. By the end of this week, which is the end of the month, as promised, we're going to give you the announcement of who our speaker lineup is. You guys are going to be thrilled and excited. Of course, Charlene's going to be here again, and we're going to talk about health and wealth. But coachcon.global, that's where you go to sign up. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to go. We are all there. DM, comment below. We're happy to engage and give you any support that you need.
Perfect. Thanks again, Ty.
Bye, Shar.